All right, now we try to bring it into movement. Sorry? Borrow for another one. Okay, you go over there and you try to push me. Try to push, I try to be, yeah, like this, perfect. Once again, you're very strong, I must be very stable, yeah, all right. Once, last one. Okay, so. Okay, what happens now when he tried to push me? So when it's okay if I'm standing here, giving you some force, it's okay for you to push me. And when I go out of the way, maybe you lose a little bit of balance because you bring too much power into play. And so I have some kind of preparation. So when I push you, so, and when I do it this way, I come to you, now I prepare myself and try to push you. So I have a kind of preparation. And maybe that takes me a split second in the fight where you can react to. You can give me a counterattack, you can go out of the way, whatever. So you know what I'm doing. So my idea of doing things, just doing. Like I'm holding my hand. I'm just holding my hand, standing upright. It doesn't matter what he's doing, pushing to my arm. Now we try to do the same when I push you. So you try to stand very stable and I try to push you. Okay? Same idea. Go against it.
So I put some force.
Yeah. Try to make it hard for me. Huh? Yeah. It's very hard for him to stop me. Now you try to move me around. That's good. Nothing wrong with this. But if I have no intention in my doing, intention of preparation and working against this force, instead of just doing, I'm just walking through you. And it's hard for you to stop me. I'm just walking through. And then we have two possibilities. One option is I can push you backwards, and the other option is I'm just standing there, but I have pressure on you, and I have a kind of control what's going on. Maybe if I use too much force, it's the same like we have with a grab. If you are very stable, and I use my force, maybe then I push me away. And that's not what I want to do. So if I'm very relaxed, just walking through, without thinking about him, I just want to go from here to there, and you are in between, but I don't care. And that's the idea. I try only to be by myself and not fighting against him, because I don't know what you can do, how strong you are, how trained you are, what your skills are, whatever. I don't know what he's doing, but I know what I'm doing. And I try to be in my center, flexible, have a lot of power. You feel it, there's a lot of power, but in a very relaxed way, because my tension is flexible and not stiff. If I have a stiff tension, then maybe I bounce off, lose my balance, maybe I give too much force, then I lose my balance to the front, whatever. Okay, you want to have a try for a minute? Just push yourself around a little bit, just walk through and see what happens. Thanks. Great. So we have a small overview, so we run through the exercises very fast. Now today I put a seed into the ground and maybe it grows over the years. It takes time, so don't be frustrating when something don't work. What I'm talking about takes me 20 years. If you can do it today, very quickly, then I'm very frustrating because I need 20 years. But on the other side, I don't have a good teacher like me explaining to you. So we have a question, if there's force coming to me, how can I, what's the question, how can I react against the force? And maybe it could be to have a push against it, something like this. So like force against force. When you come to me, please. If you give me a fist strike, yeah, straight, just a straight punch. And if he gives me a punch and I work against the punch, so you do the punch, I do the punch. So it could be that my structure brings your punch out of the way. That's one option. So if you have also a good structure, and we collide, yeah, so we have a collision. So now we have force against force. So it could be that my force is better than your force, then maybe you bounce off. So it's like we push against each other. He's stronger than me, I push myself away. What I want to do with the inner state of mind is a kind of absorbing. We do it force against, so you can feel it. We do it this way. Don't try to move, to turn around too much, because then your fist going over there, so we collide. We want this collision for now. Okay, so force against force. Yeah. So when you go against it, you hit my, and it hurts a lot, because force against force hurts a lot. So I don't want to get hurt so much, and I don't want to give him a platform where his force can generate energy into my body. So if you have this force against force, then your energy comes to my body, so I have problems. What I'm doing is when it's a kind of compression. If you give me a strike and I'm stable, you just try to push me, it's like I'm getting compressed. Push more. So all my body is getting compressed. So it's the opposite way of this expansion. So I'm getting compressed. So I can take your force without getting, or without losing balance, because I can absorb this energy. And now I can go the other way around and give it back to you. So, but it's a long way. And when I get more advanced, this option, if you give me a strike, I give you the same idea without moving a lot, but it's the same idea. I do it wrong, maybe you feel different. So it's hard. If I do it this way, you push. This is the same kind of absorption, but without moving. So first I need a lot of movement to understand what's happened in my body. You push me, I absorb and give it back. It's like a feather going together and then expanding again. And my option is to make it more strengthful, the feather, or less strengthful. So I can be very absorbable. So you push me and then I absorb, or I can turn or whatever, or I can put more strength into the feather. But it's the same feather. It's also absorbing and giving back, but only some millimeters. Only I don't know, half an inch or whatever. Only a very small movement. But that's more for the advanced people. First, I need to move my whole body, and then to understand what's happened in my body, and then we can make the ways shorter and shorter. Because in the fight, I don't have time to move too much. So I want to have. I see the hole in your guard, and then I try to go into the hole, and so I just move quickly. And if I have too much ways of moving my body, then it's too late. Maybe you close the gate. Okay. And the good thing is with this internal extension is that I can have power everywhere. For example, if you give me or you push me, just push my arm. So just push my arm to my body. So you try to bring it to my center. That's the way. And I try to resist. So, okay. Now, if I do it on a strength way, maybe I start, he gives me a push. Now I start to fight against it. Maybe it could work. But the problem is, push constantly. You can bring the shoulder down a little bit so it's not so hard for you. Because I explained something. So he gives me a push. I push against it. What happens with my left side? Now all my energy is going over there to him to resist his force. And here, nothing. I have no power in my left side. That's the problem with when I'm working against this force. And I want to have power everywhere. So if you give me the same kind of power, I relax. I can push him here with the same amount of power than holding him here. You feel there's nothing happens here. You push, I can move here, I can move here, I can move everywhere because I'm in a relaxed way of tension. I can move my whole body and it's not fixed on one position because it's like the balloon I explained before. If I have a balloon with 5 bar and I put pressure on the balloon, there's everywhere is 5 bar. And so I can use the power everywhere, not only on one point of contact.
In that second one, where's the weight? Are you managing to, in the first one, the weight is obviously going into that right leg. In the first one, are you managing to get on the left leg so you can move this?
It doesn't matter because you don't know in fight where you are standing. So it's the difficulty to have the right position in the right time. Yes. So if you have the time, you can bring you in a better position. Maybe it's better for this attack, it's better to standing like this way, but maybe in the fight you're standing like this. And so you must manage with the incoming force in this kind of setting. And that's where the structure, where I left the structural level and bring the inner state into play. Because then it does better. Because when you push me from front, just push to me, I can stand on one leg, it's no problem. You push, you can't get me, because for me it's not so important how I stand. It's a way of doing things. And then I send the energy where it needs to go. I stay always in my center, and also my energy goes through my center into the ground. And so I'm grounded and stable. And if not, I make a step. There's nothing wrong with making a step. When you give me a lot of pressure, I make a step. And that's what I'm looking for. It's making steps without losing my energy, my force to the front. You feel it when you push me and I make a step. You don't feel something happens here. So I threat you here because I push against you, or you feel a pressure against you. So when you push me back, you always feel the same pressure. But sometimes what happens if I make a defensive movement, like we have in the guild, we have the two things. When I attack, weapon first. Maybe you heard about it. When I attack, weapon first, and then the body is following. When I defend, first I move my body, and then the weapon follows. Because I have time to look what's happening, what's going on, to make a defensive movement. But the problem is when we take a sword, so we are both in a good position. Maybe you pull a little bit back. Yeah, so that's for me the entrance. So I send my weapon first and attack you because there's an opening. So when you are in a good position and give me a strike, I must go backwards and then make the defensive movement. What I must looking at is not to lose my energy going forward when I do this. That's at the end. I want to do some ideas the transition to the bindings, but we do it at the end. So I have 1 or 2 exercises in between, and then we go to the fighting. So when you give me the same attack, I'm just going back, but I have the same kind of pressure the whole time going forward. We always want to attack. Maybe it looks like a defensive movement, but it's also an attack. And when I'm doing it the wrong way, when you attack and I go backwards, all my energy is going backwards. And you can follow your next attack and go on. And so you can progress your attacking. And I want to interrupt your kind of attacking and then try to don't lose my forward going energy. That's the idea. And that's a good thing where I find a lot of this internal stuff in the guild or in the KDF, what you are doing, some of you, it's the way of doing things. Like John Waller is talking about is reality first. In my opinion, it's always looking for the forward-going energy. And he's also one of the guys who is, maybe you have seen a lot of advanced students, teachers, masters, whatever, they have something special and you don't know what it is. They are at the right time at the right space. They don't give you some options to attack him because he's always adopting the techniques of you and give you a kind of pressure. And you never know what is it. And in my opinion, this is this kind of doing things. Some people they do it instinctively, but they don't know that they do it in the right way. That's also not only John, also my other teachers, René Latosa from the Philippine martial arts. He also do it very well, all the internal stuff. And you see it by all these concepts he's making on. He's not looking for techniques, he's looking for concepts. And that's what I'm always looking for. It's not what I do, it's how I do it. So we have some kinds of regulations. This is their focus. Like John is talking about reality first. Always go for the target. Okay, they do stage combat, so for safety reasons they aim off the blow, but when I hit you, just stand still, you just stay there. I aim off my weapon to be more secure, but all my energy is going forward. I don't go like this, and all my energy goes there, because your opponent is there. That could be one option. I'm also more afraid to go for the target and have a control for my weapon and everything, and they're always looking for aiming to the target. So everything is going forward, focus, everything. This is, in my opinion, is one kind of this inner state. Okay, now we try to move on. Yep. Okay, just stay there. So maybe we have number 2 strikes. So from the left side here, over there. Could be a sword, could be whatever. Doesn't matter. It's a way of cutting from left to right. And I try to do the same. So we meet each other here. So now you make it hard again for me because I want to bring my hand over here. Maybe to follow on with a punch or whatever. It could be a sword strike and the thrust. But for now, we do it with the hands. Sometimes it's easier to feel it in the body than feel it with the weapons because it's hard. But I explain it later. So now we have a couple of options here. I can do it with my strength again. So you push against me. So I do this. So what do you feel? Where is my energy going? Over there, no? Yeah. So when I push from the arm, my energy goes over there. So you can take it away. Now you take your arm away. My arm is going over there. Here's an entrance, so you can follow on with him. So it's kind of problem over there. So I can bring now my arm from here to the center without losing the control and everything. So the same like we have done before. I can feel a little bit of contact here, but I don't want to push against his power over here. I just want to move my arm. So, and this is by rotating my hip. When I only rotate my hip, it brings my hand to this position. Now you feel the same kind of movement, so my arm goes over there. Right? So it doesn't, there's no difference between pushing the arm over there and turning over there. It's the same kind of problem we have. So what I add on this is this kind of extension. So my arm also wants to go forward, always to his center. So my arm has nothing to do more than doing this. And my hip is doing this. Now do you feel that you can put your arm away? What happens? I just go forward with my attack. Because my arm is going forward. That's what my arm is doing. This kind of moving is coming from the hip. But only so far as I need. Maybe you let go before I reach the middle, or I go up through the middle, so I can go there. So I only move my body so far as I need to. I don't go like this. Oh, now I go over there. That's too much. I want to go now to this position where my arm, when I have a straight line, is pointing towards his chin. That's the end of my movement. Now I can go over there. But I don't want to do it with arm force. I want to do it with rotation of my hip. I can put much more into it. Can also bring a little bit of weight into it. Bring also a little bit of weight into the front leg. Turning. Go over there. But my hand is going only this way. The hand is nothing, do nothing more than going forward. Don't go sideways with your hand. Then he can feel it and then he can react against it. That's the problem.
You're feeling sideways with your body just at...
Yeah, but your arm goes forward.
But the arm only goes forward.
Yeah, and that's the reason when I don't know if there are some Wing Chun guys with you here. There are some. We have the saying we want to stick to the opponent. No. We don't want to stick to the opponent. We want the opponent stick to us. So, if I do it this way, if you don't have a weapon, you feel it. Because I give you this pressure. You don't want to take your arm away, because you know if you take your arm away, my fist goes directly over there. So that's what I mean. I force him to stick to my arm because he gets a lot of pressure from my side. And this pressure coming from this expansion. And it's the same with the weapons later. So we try to do the same with the strike and the stab. So turn and try to go forward with the arm. And it's not two things. It's not 1, 2, turning back. Now it's 1, boom. And then where's the hole? Okay, then I can give a little bit of force to it. And with the same feeling like I push. It's not that I try to bring myself in a stiff position again. I always try to be relaxed. Because when the hold is very strong, when I'm strong, stronger against itself. Yeah. If I work force against force, it doesn't work. You do it again. I just go through it and hit it. I have no problems. Looks fancy, but it works. You must feel it. Try to experiment with all the things at home, and you see what's going on. All right? Okay, have a small try, and then we translate it to weapons.